Welcome to the Walkie Talkies by Michelle Baharia. Part 3 for the very first time. A multimedia piece to enjoy from the comfort of your home, or experiment and download to your phone and experience wherever you are, and even on a bus. Enjoy.
I took a bus. I don't really remember it very clearly.
I think the first time I ever caught a London bus was when I hitched down from Leeds to stay with my friend Grace. So the first bus, I can't remember the number, but it would have been the bus from Acton to a nightclub somewhere probably. But that was...
Upstairs on the front, pretending you were driving the bus.
Well, I first came to London when I was a boy. We lived in Yorkshire and I came to London when I was a boy, and we must have got Routemaster buses which were quite special. I think I'd already seen pictures of them, and I loved to sit, at the front on the left and pretend to be the driver.
Well, I think the first time I ever got on the Routemaster bus was at the top of Dogkennel Hill going to the Elephant and Castle. And I insisted on going upstairs. It was an adventure, so that was to go upstairs. That was the first time, I believe.
Everything now. I don't remember going on it, the first time, but I do remember going on the bus. And there used to be a bus conductor driving the bus, a driver, and a bus conductress could be a man or a woman with a ticket machine, and they would take cash. And they had a special bag. I did have a bag like that. I can't remember if I sold it or whatever. I got that from a boot sale. Yes, and I remember getting on the bus and paying the ticket.
Upstairs, you could look down. That was the excitement of where you were going. You were high and travelling along. That was the most interesting thing about it, really.
I once fell off a Routemaster bus.
Or if you was downstairs, you had to sit as near to the driver as possible, so you could look at the driver.
So when I was a child, I travelled on buses all the time, all across London to, and obviously when I was born in 1966, so probably started using buses a couple of years after that. And I think they were all Routemasters at that time, and so there weren't any one-person operated buses or the facing each other. I liked the seats further down the front, which were two seats next to each other, and you could look out. If you sat on the left-hand side, you could see out the window, and I always liked looking out the window and seeing where we were going. So probably my favourite seat when I was a kid was the front seat on the left-hand side, because if you sat on the right-hand side, you were behind the driver and couldn't see anything unless they didn't have their sort of blind down.
The first time I got into a double-decker bus was about 18 years ago. I live in Queen's Park, and it was a bus that I can't remember the number, but it was open at the back and it has a conductor. So I was on the top floor, and when they brake it quite fast. So I sort of almost fall downstairs when they did brake, but it was very enjoyable, and you feel secure because it was a conductor in there. Yeah, it was nice. Changed quite a lot.
So the first Routemaster bus I got was just down the road, in Croxted Road, just down to the end of Croxted Road. Yeah, to Oakfield School, where I was at primary school.
On a route, well, they were all Routemasters, all the buses then,
not
weren't they?
really, no, that would be a long time. No, I don't remember the first time I got on the bus. I remember before I was in a wheelchair, when I was young, I used to really like the Routemasters and jumping on and off them and things. When I was a kid, obviously as a wheelchair user, they're a complete pain in the backside, the old ones anyway. No, I don't remember the first time I got on a bus, I'm afraid, no.
I would remember it being an experience of some kind, like the very first time.
Who wants to pay twice?
You know, we're all pearly queens on the buses.
Who wants to pay twice? 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 Who wants to pay twice?
The Walkie Talkies project by Michelle Baharia is supported by Arts Council England National Lottery funding. Michelle Baharia wishes to thank Alex Zidane, Jennifer Fletcher, Kathy Waller, Disability Arts Online and many others for their support to make the Walkie Talkies.